And hello everyone, I'm Dan Lutz and I'm here with my co-host
Tank.
And we're here on the front lines in the battle against the deep state, the cabal, the Illuminonkeys, and all those that wish to enslave all of humankind for their own selfish reasons. How's it going, Tank?
Oh, everything is lovely. Coming up roses. You know, I don't really have an update from Kim, other than it appears she shares my same frustration with trying to figure out what actually lets the bodies drop. And then I had various other reports coming in from different corners, which maybe imply, hopefully, that Kim is just misleading them. So I don't know. So that's a little frustrating, regardless. But I guess that's for the best good of everybody. But otherwise, we made some amazing progress today. Lawful America met with Cherokee Nation and started to put together this really succinct plan of attack to roll out these courtroom observers, which are going to create a lot of ruckus and noise and file real complaints against the judges. And that'll be very tactical, very exciting. We have all types of very qualified judges and, U.S. Marshals.
So
all types of people.
Are these observers marshals, or who are the...
Well, the CROs in the beginning will essentially just be regular people that, we pulled together the exact documentation so that, we know exactly when they go in, they will become experts on these, a very limited set of codes, right? That we'll put in there. They're the most 10 most commonly violated codes by the courtrooms themselves, right? And while that's happening, we'll also be, establishing the actual local assemblies. So to put in place the grand juries, which will actually, operate out of every single county, that stuff will be going into place. That way you'll have an actual official filing that will take place that will allow people to, actually enforce the laws. So you have two major functions, right, all happening at the same time. while we're pulling together the actual crimes that they're committing, filing them with the court clerk, with the local sheriff, and with the chief judge of that area. At the same time, we're also pulling together the actual assembly, which represents the voice of the people. And then when they vote on something, that becomes the actual, that's the real law. So they basically say, look, we're having a grand jury to investigate these judges. That's what happens. And the courts have got to accept the ruling of those people. So that's,
So are there going to be any in Kane County?
Oh, yes, King County is like top priority.
That sounded like it to me. Yes.
Yeah.
That would be very poetic to get it started in that kind of location comparatively with everything that we've been discussing. That would be definitely ground zero or high priority.
Yeah. Well, and it'll be very, very interesting when you think about it, right? To do this in that area, and let's say they resist. It's like, in a way, it's like, well, we might want them to resist, right? Because then I can turn around and give Carol Wachowski the house of the judge who, is going to be up on charges, which has been my personal goal, to put him out of his home and allow her to have proper justification for the losses she's suffered at his hands.
Well,
which I feel like that should be standard.
I think one of the other focuses might be on these other high-profile judges that say the ones that overseen Roger Stone in that case, or General Flynn. To put in some observers there.
I think that's a great point. I mean, it seems like they would have that. But yeah, you're right. That's a good point. What's happening there?
Yeah, anywhere else where this is happening in the spotlight, right? Because then it gets familiar and can feed into our narrative, right? That we're can report on, and the other alternative media can report on.
Yeah. But it really requires people that can do to do, right?
Right.
And I gotta say, I'm a little disappointed with National Liberty Alliance that, again, last night they were supposed to call our grand jury, or Thursday night. Tonight, no, last week they were supposed to call. And tomorrow night, we're supposed to do it again. Now, we've been putting all types of people in their direction, to support them, right, and look at their educational, because they have great educational resources and amazing documents.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, at the end of the day, it's like, look, I got criminals, acting criminally right now, trying to take action against our children. Yeah. And I need you to call a grand jury because we got some great clarification on this from the National Assembly. What you have to provide is undeniable evidence, right? Because that's what the grand jury deals with.
Right.
Undeniable evidence. Well, we give them that. It's undeniable. It could win a RICO lawsuit tomorrow.
Yeah.
So it's like, get it done. Go. Quit dragging your feet. Like, you don't have enough people? Tell us how to do it, we'll do it. So we might end up doing that. We're working with the National Assembly. If we have to call our own grand jury, we're going to do that. So that's the next kind of next step if need be.
Yeah. Well, there's a disease, right, that infects these groups. All these groups, the well-meaning groups, they're always in the planning stage, the planning disease, right? And the execution to actually get over and actually do what they've been planning it's kind of like they get so used to the planning because it's in years and decades planning.
Yeah.
Right. And to get to the point where you actually execute, this becomes like a mythical, you know,
No,
time.
you're absolutely right. I totally agree. And I've been saying that same thing. They plan and plan and plan, but at the end of the day, it's like, okay, planning's over. You know, the
time to execute.
What you think you're waiting for is here. You know, now's the time.
Yeah, this is it. This is it. And that's where, it takes the getting that one person to say yes. The one that everyone else is going to say yes. Okay, we're doing it. Okay, this is it. And you get the motivators out there to kind of give a push along the way. The day before and the day of and the hour before, and make sure everyone's en route. They're leaving the house and. And you get and you build that up and you get people to show, right? And then but once the first one happens, then it just keeps going, right? Then everyone, it's on, right? It's happening, and then you do the next and you do the next.
That's all you got to do. You just got to get through this first one. Let's break through this first piece. And all of us will be in a much, much better situation across the board. Because from there, we can actually set a precedence of standard of this is how we operate, right?
Yep.
Beautiful.
Yep.
So, I'm very much pushing for that every single day. Every single day.
I know it's going to happen soon. Everything is happening before the end of March, everything is going to be changed. That's what I see.
Yeah. Well, I have to believe that at some point, we have all the pieces here, right? It's right here. There's no question anymore. And if you just say, okay, enough's enough, we're all going to stop playing this other game. Like all this, the Galactic, Universal Council and stuff. One of my biggest, I've never put one of those letters out before because I hate when people put the letters out and nothing happens. That was one of my biggest things. I know it's not going to happen. Here I am 2 months later after this letter is out, right after this monumental breakthrough between the 21st and 27th of December in 2019, and to the Universal Council declaring, that we've changed the world and everything's different now. This huge weight should feel lifted. And, I just don't feel that a weight has been lifted, right? Because I still get reports from everywhere, right? I still have people, I had to pull together a death toll, just from my team. Just my team, like my core team, the number of people that have been killed by either drug overdose or shot by cartels or kids that we were trying to help that got killed in horribly violent fashion, right? And I'm like, no, that's got to stop now. It's got to stop, and we got to figure out how to stop it right now. And that, to me, is where I get very frustrated. It all comes down to money. Really, like sometimes it's like, how is it that we have gotten to a place where every possible aspect of our life is measured in dollars and cents? How can you possibly put the value of a child's life, in any monetary value?
It's right? Because the reality is this is the system that they've been feeding us. It's all about putting everything in dollars and cents. Everything about the courtroom is about dollars and cents. It's to settle a financial dispute. Everything is measured in dollars. Everything. So it's not measured. You're right to, basically say, how do you measure success to make it something other than dollars? It's actually a brilliant idea, right? Because that's what we all have been taught from the very beginning. This is how you measure things, and that's why it's like, the idea of human trafficking and everything that's related to that. It's like, well, of course that's what it's about, because everything is put in a financial thing. Your birth certificate, it's bid on and traded against, and then we think that is us, right? That entity, right? And we agree that it's us. We raise our hand and say, yeah, that's me, all caps entity. They take you.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, that's it. That's what they do. I mean, I didn't.
No. You're totally right. Yeah. Yeah.
So
yeah. I think enough of that. So what's going on, man? The latest of eventually we're gonna take somebody down. In the world of politics. Anything breaking that you see?
I see that we're still in the eye of the storm, right? And I think that I think like Dan Bongino, Rudy Giuliani, that these guys are out there painting the picture of the offense right now. Like Dan Bongino, right? He sounds like you. He's like, okay, we're not playing by those old rules anymore. We're done waiting. There's no more Marcus to Queensberry rules. No, now we're getting down and dirty, right? You're coming at us at every we're not going to be respectful and play nice. It's like why Trump is appearing everywhere where there is a Democrat caucus or they're going to, well, obviously he's running as well, so he's doing it for the Republican, but he's timing it to be there and take all the limelight from the Democrats, right? And to show off and say, oh, well, I got 175,000 people that registered for this event, and Joe Biden is pulling has his event, and he says, well, we'll do a round table, pulls up some chairs and a table. Because that's enough people show up. Got 10 people, so let's just have a little sit down conversation here. So this showing this off, but no, I do think Dan Bongino and Rudy are really painting the picture right now, and of saying, listen, this is what it is. It's all been hinted around, right? It wasn't all directly spoken about, and now they're directly putting it out there and saying, this is what it is. It is treason. It is Obama that did the treason. That's why I think that they're spelling it out, and I think that they're going to take Obama out with all of them at the same time. I think there's pick them all up. I don't think.
I'd really like to see that happen. That actually target someone that's that is considered to be untouchable. It's that the piece that you read this day, we're talking about Hillary Clinton being part of the hegemony, right?
Yeah.
The American hegemony, which basically we shouldn't have, right? We shouldn't have some kind of royal, nonstop force that exists in our government. That should not exist.
Well,
based on what our government established, right?
Well, they also say it was part of the hegemony, right? So she's part of it. It didn't say all Democrats, it wasn't. It was talking about the deep state, right? It's part of the deep state. These people are untouchable. These are the ones that are really running the show there, and these are who we have to deal with, right? But now it's changed. That's why you have John Kerry going back to Iran, right? That's another new trip that just happened, right?
Wait, John Kerry went back to Iran again?
Yeah.
Why?
Well,
isn't there do we have a travel department or something? Nobody should be traveling to Iran? I would think.
Yeah, well, that is the point, right? It's why are you there? Maybe he doesn't, or I don't know if he went to Iran itself. Anyway, I just kind of caught a bit of it yesterday, so I didn't catch what it was they were talking about completely. What was the subject, other than Trump saying that was again against the Logan Act. It's again another violation of the Logan Act.
Which I love what Dan Bongino said. He was yeah, the Democrats have a blanket immunity for the violations of the Logan Act, for
Oh yeah, that's what
lying at the road.
that's again exactly what Rudy Giuliani said. That's what I'm saying. That they're laying this out right now. They're saying it in conjunction. Everyone's speaking in unison and saying the talking points right now are they're immune. Here's 6 categories of things that you cannot bust them on. Rudy Giuliani laid it out. So they're a Democrat. They're immune to prosecution. They're immune to investigation. They can do any of these 6 things, right? And you can't do anything to them. And that's why I think that they're really just now spelling it out for everyone to see it, so that when they come down on them about it, everyone says, yeah, they can't get away with that. That's all they need is they need the public to be in agreement with what they're saying and understand that that's what's been going on, and that this is draining the swamp. Everyone wants the corruption to stop.
It's so interesting though it just seems like such a violent, violent lie in a sense, right? Like where they're telling people, like they're acting like the newscasters are still acting disgusted with Trump, right, for doing exactly what the other side is doing. It's so interesting to me that like doesn't it seem like it's pretty easy to prove? It's like, hey, wait, like that's not happening. Like there isn't a tyrannical force in Trump. I mean, he's just allowed things to go on. He's allowed them to act this way, and he hasn't imposed his will on anything.
Yeah, he just keeps pointing it out. That's all he does is keep pointing it out, right? Because he's got to get all the people at least he's got to get the majority of people on the side, right? And he said the people that are there to overthrow the whole world, right? They've only got 20% of the population. 30% will end up go along with it. So this is the battle, and they're losing right now. They're losing their troops in this battle, and that's what Trump is doing. He's basically bringing people over to our side before the hot war. We're in the cold war of this. What's going on right now?
Well, what do you think the next stage will be? I mean,
I think we're going to see as soon as the declassification happens, the Durham report comes out. This is when they say these people are criminals. That's what it's going to say. And as soon as that happens, these people, that means that those sealed indictments are unsealed. And as soon as it's unsealed, then people are say, okay, well now you got to arrest them, right? Then when they get arrested, it's like, well, yeah, this is the report is there, and they're criminals. Take them out.
So you're gonna have, okay. So I just want to make sure I have the stuff. So the declass will come out, which didn't they already come out with some aspect of the declass already?
There some things may have been declassed recently, like maybe even like a week ago, kind of thing. Right. So,
gotcha. Okay.
But the full FISA declassification, no, that hasn't happened. Because when it showed that the FISA, who was involved, who signed it, right? Who was responsible? Did it get to Obama? Was Obama basically behind it, and they can show that he was? That's treason. He gets arrested. Everyone involved gets arrested.
Well, it's treason if Trump did it. What is it when Obama does it? Like, what do we call it then? Just what? Is that a big deal?
Yeah.
So, all right, do you think the media will be taken out at the same time?
The media is going to be taken out. Yeah, I think it's going to go. I think do they happen the same day, or does it? Where I think that there may be some. It might be like arrest Obama, right? And you arrest maybe half of the media. from each of like MSNBC or ABC, CBS, NBC, all these places you get.
Yeah, I feel like that'll be the shakedown, right? Like you show up with like military troops, and basically, if you're part of it in that moment, you're gonna be like, "Holy cow, what is happening?" Because like, wait, you need to take us up, because I feel like everyone's gonna get confronted. So,
yeah, they're going to be indignant. I can see it now. They're going to be indignant. You can't do this. We're the media. We're the elite.
yeah, you're gonna start saying dumb things like, "Do you know who I am?" Yes, yes, we do. That's why we're here. Maybe we need to revisit this whole process.
Yeah,
that's what I want to happen. By the way, and if I never get those actual details, I'm gonna make a movie about it. Just for that.
Well, I think the movies will be coming, but I don't know if they'll be coming from the same Hollywood groups. It's like the Hollywood's going down at the same time. That's the other thing. We're not going to be seeing all these same characters that are now speaking out against Trump. They're going to be picked up as well because they're part of it.
Oh yeah, I mean, they're knowingly contributing to all types of. I mean, they're part of the whole subculture of pedophilia and everything else, right?
Yeah. So how many people are going to be? How many people get picked up on the first day? I can see that. We'll see. I think it's all at one time. I think they really do just swoop in and they just arrest everybody and start putting them in.
I don't see how it's going to work, really. It's like I guess it really has to happen that way. Now, I have never entertained the fantasy that this will happen.
Well,
right?
And we just want I see also when this happens, the other thing that happens at the same time is that's when the money starts flowing out into the hands of the people. Trump's released the funds. People say, "Oh, well, now these are who the people have been stopping us from having the money." Right?
Yeah.
So then people go, okay, well, that'll get everyone busy, right? Fixing their issues in their life, and then watching what's going on, having some breathing space to absorb it, or focus on building something else because they can't deal with it, right? But the being able to focus on building projects, I think, is also the counterweight to all the negativity.
Oh yeah, that's a great point. Sure, if people are just allowed to thrive. I mean, in ways that, like, think of all the hoops that people have been jumping through just to struggle and scramble and get by. I mean, you have people now for years, 10, 15, 20 years, trying to get basic money in for a project idea that everyone else knows is world changing, right? Free energy and healing devices. We've got organ transplants that can literally wash away all the DNA from someone else. They can literally keep organs in a facility, and anytime someone needed an organ transplant, they can just pull it out and say, "Here we go." It wouldn't even matter.
Well,
you wouldn't have to worry about anything.
So if this rolls out this way, let's say that by the end of March, right, and the money is starts flowing from the trust. I don't see Kim out on TV with Trump, right? I don't see it that way. I see that the projects roll out, by way of Go Camelot and the People's Club, right? And they just starts rolling out that way. And people ask, where does it come from? Well, it comes from the trust, right? and it just keeps going. And then Trump is going to be literally the world leader. Not from the standpoint he's going to have say over all the countries, but all the other countries are following Trump, right? They're looking at, we got to make trade deals. We can't rely on this globalism thing where all these giant corporations end up rolling over the countries, right? So they're all following Trump right now, and so we're going to see this expanding, and it'll go around the world where everyone is doing business and making money. And once everyone's making money, the one reason why they had to tear down America from a business standpoint, make everybody poor, is because that's when they can bring in socialism / communism. When everyone's making money, no one wants to say that's stupid. If everyone's has a lot of abundance and coming forward, they don't want to. Why are you talking about that? We've got health care. We pay it. Right? So
Right.
I heard some interesting statistics that came out. A guy was basically said that if you go back and follow how salaries were keeping pace with things, they started to flatline back in the 70s, right? And they started to not grow as fast. In fact, the cost of everything grew so much faster, like in health insurance or cost of medical care grew so much exponentially faster, and the cost of homes and they took like the big cost, cars, homes, healthcare, education. There was one more, but all these things that they grew so much faster in expense, they became so much more expensive, but the salaries didn't keep up. If the salaries kept up, there wouldn't have been an issue. Everything would be affordable. Right. No one would be caring about having the country. Hey, we need a one-payer system. Like, you don't need a one-payer system if everyone has enough money to pay for it.
Good point. Yeah. And that is the devaluation of the U.S. dollar that's been happening since the 50s, really.
Yeah.
I mean, everything designed to make it look like, oh, you're so prosperous, and at the same time, the quality of everything goes down.
Well,
right?
I think the 70s was because of getting off the gold standard. I think that's when that's when the divergence really took place there. Not that it didn't, happen further, but after World War II, there was a lot of money coming into the households because you literally had, women in the workforce for the first time when the men coming back from the war, and then you had two incomes, but just because that was just what happened, right? And so that kind of some fell off and that, but still there was this idea of a dual income thing, which I think is the worst possible thing to happen to the family. Is you end up with a two income family. No, you don't. You end up, everything costing twice as much.
Well, you end up with the two incomes, no parents.
Yeah.
Basically,
Well,
it's not a
the places where see, the thing is that the expense of a house will rise because of the two incomes, right? But you've lost the mother taking care of nurturing the family, so you're much worse off, right? And then you have the breakup of the family.
Right. I mean, you lose. You lose relationships with your kids. Even think about it. Like you have someone else raising your children.
Right.
Majority of the time, and they're trying to do that here even more in New York. Right. They're trying to impose preschool at age 3 here. Right. And force kids to go into preschool. That is government control. It's like that's ridiculous. It's unfortunate. And they act like they're doing you a favor. Hey, now we'll put your kids in preschool at 3.
Right. Yeah. Not a favor, no.
Not a favor.
But I see Trump is he went to California, gave a speech to the farmers, and this was some of the thing that the part of this was that, and he kept after it, saying it again and again and again, that there's plenty of water in California, but the mismanagement by the government is basically they're dumping millions of gallons into the Pacific Ocean, and they're rationing the water right now in California. They're allowing everyone just 50 gallons of water a day.
So what is the logic?
It's basically
how do they justify that? I don't understand.
Well, the justification is that they want to save a fish, an environmental reason. This fish, which is not native to the area, doesn't do well whether there's water or not, right? But they have to save this fish, right? So they dump all the water out to the ocean, and they divert it. It's literally to snuff out the family farm. And Trump was there, and this had nothing to do with what happened with Bloomberg and his blunders on saying farmers it's very easy to farm. You just put a seed in the ground and cover it with dirt, right? So, but it wasn't planned. But Trump had this whole thing set up. So they cleared all the way so that there's no problems diverting the water back to all the farms on the federal level. It's now only on the state level. He's cleared all the way. He signed the executive order right there on the spot, and he's talking about this. And I remember before, anytime that when Trump had said this, in the other times he was at he was in California or some other place, he talked about California, that they're dumping the water in the ocean. YouTube censored that.
Wow, it's really fascinating.
Pulled that out of the speech, right? And I had to hunt for it to find it again, because I heard it the first time, so it was good. And I wanted to show it on our broadcast, and so I remember I had, oh wow, they pulled it out of here and they pulled it out of there, and so I think that they're literally editing, out things that they don't want people to, just like the name of the whistleblower, right? They want to censor that. So this
but that's really like, how can anyone know that though? Like, okay, just with people here listening, if they're actually taking out that very direct topic where Trump's saying, look, they're taking the water, they're dumping it in the ocean, and they're not letting the farmers farm. What other purpose does that serve? I mean, realistically, than intentionally hurting the farmers.
They're intentionally hurting the farmers.
The whole population, right?
They want to get rid of the family farm and replace it with just the Monsanto, right? That's it. They want to own the whole Central Valley, right? And that was what this is all about. It's literally just driving out all of the family farms. Because number one, that's a source of money, right? They want to own every form of production, every form of money generation. They don't want normal people to have businesses where they can become the well off, right? They don't want anyone well off. They want everyone scrounging because they can control them. They want
everyone to struggle in the same way, so it becomes normal, right? And then this is normal, right?
Yeah.
Of course we're struggling. We're all struggling.
Yeah. But look what happens when Trump basically pumps trillions of dollars into the economy. The salaries rise on the low end, right? And so now there's more people with more money. I bet by the time that Trump is done, another 5 years, everyone's salary would have doubled, right? Getting people back in line with what it should have been, right? And then as he's going to get rid of the old fictitious economy, right, and go back to a gold-based one. I think he's gonna run have the Fed run down the interest rate to 0, and everything's just going to be fine. And then he's going to say, why do we need the Fed at all at that point? Why do we need it? Can we do an investigation and see why we're paying these people interest on our money? It's now at 0. Yeah. We're just fine, right? We can print our own money. That's what the Constitution says anyway.
It'd be interesting if he just came out and said, listen, the entire debt that we owe the Federal Reserve, that debt has been paid off completely, right? Because there's all these rumors going around right now that the Rothschilds are calling in their debt, right, on the country, and they're trying to buy back the country. But in reality, their debt is owed back to the trust. And the trust has called in their debt. So the countries have an option, which you know Trump is not going to do this, right? The countries have an option. Either you can pay their debt for them, or you can stop doing business with them altogether, and we'll pay the debt from the money that we have waiting for you, the United States, here in the trust, which we've already offered you, and there'll be no debt. And we'll fund your country. But you can't do business with them anymore.
What did you say Trump was going to do or not going to do? I didn't say which path. I'm a little confused. He would never in a million
years let the Rothschild call it a debt on the United States.
Okay, just making sure. I agree.
Pay off their debt for them. Screw them. Let them die on the vine. Who cares? Like, they've done nothing for anybody ever. It's like, listen, we're calling in our debt. Why? So that we can kill off most of the population. What? So we can save the... What?
You're going to kill everyone by saving...
How is this your best option? You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make sense. Hilarious, actually. I mean, when I think about it from my very dark, tragic comedy kind of way, like, how is this the best option you guys could come up with?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't. But based on it making no sense whatsoever, and them being an absolute joke as far as I'm concerned, that they still think that they have that kind of mind control over us, I find it to be like, really? I mean, and I guess, like, if there's really, if we as a population all voted to, that makes sense, that's what we should do, then we should die. because essentially it's like, we don't even care enough to fight for our own rights. But I think that's a good point. That's what they're trying to do with the coronavirus, or really the vaccine, to create this apathy, right?
Yeah.
Or this,
I'd mentioned this a little earlier, but I was reading this article on Reddit, and it was basically saying that this coronavirus, it is not as advertised. What it was a biological agent that China was creating to control the people that are divergent, right? The ones that are not complying with what China wants, or they're dissidents, they're free thinkers, they're human rights attorneys, Christians. This is what's listed in the article.
All the people that think they're people is basically what they want to stop.
Yeah, and
they have rights or a voice, any of that stuff. Stop that right away.
And that this was that they were experimented on those Muslims that they picked up and they turned into a camp, and they tried this agent on them, and it ended up making them mildly retarded, which was kind of part of the goal. But about a week later, they all started to melt, internal their organs. It bled out all their orifices, and so that's a failure. But they kept experimenting and doing things, and once they have kind of perfected, and they were doubling up on their timing to make this happen because of what's going on in Hong Kong, right? And because they want to put down that, but they can't, since it's so high profile, they have to make sure that it's going to work, and everyone's just going to be docile and not protest. And so they kind of had a working model of this. The CIA wanted to buy it from them, and so someone was going to sell it to the CIA, and Chinese government was not in favor of that, and they stopped the transaction, which was going down at that animal market. And so there was a gun battle, and then it ended up breaking the vial, and that's how it spread in Wuhan.
That seems highly unlikely, all of it, but really fascinating. That story is awesome. I mean, that is a great movie, and I really hope that is what happened. I mean, not to applaud anything, but it's like, wow, that's an amazing story.
Yeah.
One, I think it's amazing. we know that they use vaccines to create this docile kind of zombified group, right?
Right.
I'm very interested to know if what is the truth behind it. Like, were their organs actually melting inside of them? Like, is that a real thing? Is that a condition? You know, was it instantaneous? Well, I mean, what does that mean? You know, that would be a horrifying sight. You can imagine, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, what I'll do is I'm just going to share the screen for a moment so people can see the article since we talked about it. Again, I don't know if it's true at all, right? But you know, it's worth at least seeing if you're interested. Posted 6 days ago on Reddit under r/no sleep.
Reddit is like a pretty. Is it credible? I mean, I don't even know like exactly what Reddit is.
Yeah, well, it's a place where you can post things, and there's a lot of different articles here. But this says, "I am a senior Chinese military intelligence officer, and I know the truth about the coronavirus outbreak. It is
Wow.
It is far worse than the media is telling you." That's the start of it, right? And
That's pretty credible. I mean,
yeah,
hard to back up, right? Hard to prove, but it's pretty.
right. But the article is pretty intense. I was thinking of reading it online, but it would take about half an hour to read it, as it's a pretty lengthy article. But you can find it. Well, actually, here's something I would get to point out. This was who they wanted to take out. I say, I'll just read this part. So, our president has already introduced a social credit system that allowed us to identify disloyal, counter-revolutionary, and I don't know what that
bourgeois.
is. Maybe bourgeois elements in our society using the social credit source, which we are taken from online activity, electronic shopping behavior, and reports from informers in civil society. We select some of the worst offenders, including human rights lawyers, activists, Christians, homosexuals, artists, intellectuals, people who speak foreign languages, and other undesirables. Yeah.
Those are all undesirables?
Those are all the undesirables, right? Okay. And then this is what they were going to take them to the testing facility in Wuhan for this purpose, right? And this is how it actually ended up, of them discovering how to make it work. And some of them went schizophrenic and paranoid after a certain point, and then they deteriorated. So that's why they had to keep going after it and working it until they finally came up with one. And then here it's saying, then the CIA was convinced they had developed something very powerful and wanted to keep it to ourselves. They offered a great deal of money to our researchers, and foolishly he agreed to sell them a specimen. And that's basically that's basically the story. But it does go into a lot of detail of what was going on and where at, and about the doctor. That showed up as dying from the coronavirus, and that was it. It was actually they had killed him because he wouldn't go along with the fake story kind of thing.
Wow.
And it says
its fatality rate is 100%. Nobody recovers from it. Everybody who contracted dies.
Yeah. Yeah.
And a lot of people are contracting. Okay.
Yeah. So we'll see, but it wasn't meant to go off there in China. But here's let me switch screens here take a look at this. This is the Economist, the Rothschild magazine that they put out, and there's been a lot of conversation about this particular cover, right? But if you look here, like right towards the center, a little bit to the right, you have the four horsemen of the apocalypse sitting there in China. So kind of
wait, what are you showing, Dan? I like to use the Reddit articles though.
Oh, it didn't switch. That's interesting. Oh, I know. Because I'm showing the audience, but I'm not showing you. That's what happened there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
There we go.
Oh, I see.
You
Oh,
probably
okay.
remember this is The Economist, right? And their cover normally shows like predictions of what's going to happen. Look, here's Trump, right? Yeah, and then right here towards the center, you've got this group of the four horsemen of the apocalypse sitting on China. Right?
Very interesting, all those Da Vinci references.
Yeah. So much in here, right?
English bulldog, Indian elephant with a tusk. He's got the little stock market thing.
Yeah.
Interesting.
The bull market, yeah.
You got the Vitruvian man holding a marijuana leaf. Is that what that is?
That's the marijuana leaf, and he's also got the DNA symbol on his arm there. He's got a QR code and a phone over here. He's got city. It looks like I don't know. There's something in the balance here. I can't tell what it is.
There's hashtag Me Too on his left back there.
Yeah, we got some ballot boxes.
Ballot boxes, yeah. Very interesting. Oh, the weighs and balance in his hand there. That's really interesting.
Got
Looks like some weird phallic symbolism there.
Got a baseball in one hand. I don't know why they have a baseball. Is that an armadillo? You got the Mona Lisa here, right, with someone else's face. I can not quite make out who that is. Seems familiar.
The stork, and this is Gandhi, right?
Yeah, it kind of looks like that's Gandhi in India. That's kind of where India sits.
Very interesting stuff. Who's this random honor student?
I don't know.
This is cool stuff, though.
Yeah.
What is this? What is this?
This is The Economist. This is the Rothschild magazine, right? It's famous for.
Oh, this is the Rothschild magazine.
Yeah. So.
Oh, this is like where they put their warnings out.
Right. So that's it. So it's
fascinating.
I got a bit of an article about it. Yeah. So just interesting that they pointed out that this, apocalypse starting here in China.
So, what does this say down here in the corner? Mona?
Oh, I can't see. I think it's an armadillo. No, what is this?
No, it's A-N-Y. It's her name. This is a different woman if you look at her face.
Mona, A-N-Y-S-T-I-N-S?
Huh, interesting. They spelled it backwards? Or
yeah, it's mirror image. It's like everything on here is a mirror image, so you'd have to reverse everything in a mirror to read it properly. Everything is reverse.
Wow. Good times. Good times. Well, the Rothschilds, if nothing else, are definitely fun with their symbolism, right?
Yeah. I guess this is Putin up here. Looks like that.
Yeah, they're doing the profiles of Trump and Putin to show.
And China in the middle between the two.
Well, yeah, I can have a good time with that another night. I'm gonna have to look through that now and examine that a little bit. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, okay. This one is from before its news, but there's a lot on the Economist magazines from the past. So,
well, man, I'll tell you what. I'm anxiously and aggressively not waiting, but I am very much anticipating, pushing, and wrestling and demanding that change happens now. So,
I'm ready.
Yeah. That's all I got, man. Let's pick this up tomorrow night with even better news and more exciting stuff. But I think it is actually coming together, even though it looks like it's falling apart.
Yeah. So. Sounds good. All right, everybody. We'll catch you tomorrow. And be sure to subscribe and share and give thumbs up. All of this helps. And we'll catch you tomorrow.
All right, there you go.